What's up everyone, it's Kadi with MoneyVest. So in this video, we are going to be talking a little bit about Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and the stock prices are down for 9 consecutive days in the last 10 days, and they are on a losing streak. They are down on the year, and they've just been selling off pretty aggressively. We've got Coca-Cola down a little bit over 4.2% right now, and I'm going to break down in this video exactly what I suspect the reason to be behind this sell-off. So this right here is the entire sell-off from $62 is down over 16.5%. We understand and know that this is one of Warren Buffett's very dear positions. He's held on to this for his majority of his investing career, and right now, year to date, the stock's down over 17%. So we have seen a pretty significant sell-off, and it's almost identical pattern to Pepsi as well. Take a look at the week. In fact, on the day, it's down 4.5%. Year to date, the stock's down over 10.7%. And from its all-time highs, it is now down over 17%. So the selling pressure continues for these two companies, and not just these two companies. I think there is a bigger story with the entire sector, which is very much focused towards beverages and snacking and food. And I'll get to that in just a minute. I'm not going to be sharing the exact article. I'm not going to be bringing that up. I'm only going to be talking to you guys over here. I'll share the links and the research in the Discord because I want to comply with YouTube's guidelines, and I'm not really sure where YouTube is right now with this at the moment, so I don't want this video to be demonetized or anything. So I'm going to basically tell you guys what I believe the reason to be, and I'll share the research and the analysis and the links in our Discord. So again, if you want to get access to that, link's going to be down below. We'd love to have you on board. And we'll also calculate what our future values are going to be looking like intrinsic value-wise for Coca-Cola in this video. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this. Find it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. There are a few more spots left if you want to join, of course, be a part of our MoneyVest community. So there was a report that came out from Walmart executive, and his name is John Furner. He said in an interview with Bloomberg on Wednesday that the company has seen a, quote, slight change in food purchasing habits of people taking a very specific weight loss drug called Ozempic and other weight loss drugs compared to people who aren't. And impacts, are very, very slight right now. So Walmart is studying, what they're doing is they're studying sales patterns by looking at, shopper data and comparing that of people who are taking weight loss drugs versus people who aren't. And Furner said that it's too soon to draw conclusions, but the company is seeing a slight pullback in the overall basket. Now, Morgan Stanley also estimated, they basically came out with this report that by 2035, so right now we're in 2023, so in the next 12 years, by 2035, there will be 7% of the population, or 24 million people, on some type of weight loss drug. So GLP-1 drugs by 2035, 24 million. So that is a little bit concerning, right? When you start to read these types of news, and we know, and again, no offense, but we know that the US is probably one of the most obese country in the world, because there's so much consumption of junk food, there's so much consumption of different types of sugary foods and items, and of course Coca-Cola and Pepsi kind of fit right in, because if you take a look at, what their brands are made of, because, these are not just beverages, but they, Coca-Cola owns a lot of different brands, right? We've got Fanta, we've got Sprite, we got Fresca, we've got, Fairlife, we've got, all these different types of brands, like Pepsi, for example, has Tropicana, we've got Toasty Toast, we got Brisk, we got Cheetos, Doritos, right? Gatorade, Fritos, 7-Up, Pepsi, and of course Aquafina, Ruffles, Quaker. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's like a pretty massive web of brands within these conglomerates that these companies own. And a lot of them, I don't know if you guys have seen those videos on Instagram and TikTok where these people compare based on sugar cubes. They basically tell you how much sugar is in these soda cans, right? Whether it's Coca-Cola, whether it's Pepsi, whether it's Gatorade, they do these comparisons, and they have like a small weighing scale, and they put together these sugar cubes and tell you, 36 grams of sugar or 40 grams of sugar, how many tablespoons and how many sugar cubes are in that beverage. And I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that obviously these are not healthy drinks, right? Sodas, carbonated beverages, especially when you are dealing with so much carbohydrates and sugar, they are not super healthy, right? At least in my opinion, I've never really consumed. Try to stay away from sugar as much as I can. And obviously I don't drink soda at all. I only drink sparkling water and then black coffee, green tea, and water. So those are like my 4 beverages to go, and a little bit of whiskey, of course. But that is really what I drink on a weekly basis. But I think this has been one of the reasons why the stock price has been selling off quite aggressively. And furthermore, the sort of like the background about this is that these other weight loss drugs, they have risen in popularity in the recent years, cause weight loss by reducing people's appetite, right? So what they're doing is that they're suppressing hormonal signals to one's brain to basically tell them that they are full. And the drug also decreased some patients' cravings to eat foods with high sugar or fat content, which could cause problems for some food brands that have decided in recent years to lean into snacking while marketing their food. And food chains and companies producing junk foods were predicted to be potential losers of the weight loss drug boom because of the decreased appetite for unhealthy foods. This right here was a report again from a CNBC that they reported in the last 1 week. So I think this is, and then there's another report that I wanted to mention that I think is going to be very, very interesting. Let me see if I can pull that up. And just give me 1 second so I can read that to you. And what it mentioned was that the list of stocks that could be impacted from the change in food consumption habits in the U.S. long term is companies like grocery outlets. We got Engel Markets, we got Sprouts Farmers, Walmart, we've got Target, Costco, PepsiCo is part of that list, Mondelez, of course they've got lots of different brands within their companies as well, McDonald's, Yum Brands, Domino's, Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, and we've got Coca-Cola, General Mills, and GM Schmucker Company and General Mills already mentioned. So these were some of the companies that were reported as being some of the potential companies that could be impacted. Now, it's interesting, if you come over to McDonald's, same pattern. Been down over 87 basis points. It's been selling off. If you come over to Mondelez, which is going to be MDLZ, almost an identical pattern, down over 3.6%. So this is not company specific. I want to be very clear. When you have all these stocks selling off at the same time, this is not company specific. This is not specific to Coca-Cola. This is not specific to Pepsi. This is specific to the entire sector. This is specific to the entire industry because they're all selling off, right, at the same time. If I bring over some of the other stocks that are on that list of potential companies that might get affected from this weight loss drug. So let's just go over to Hershey's, HSY. You'll notice that this company, it's been pretty brutal. It's been selling off pretty aggressively since May of 2023. If you take a look at Domino's Pizza, so DPZ, let's take a look at how they're doing. They've been selling off a little bit. I mean, they were down over 4.3% on Tuesday. They pushed higher, yesterday. Right now, they're down over 1.6. McDonald's, we already went over, I think. Let's take a look at Krispy Kreme. So that's going to be DNUT. And they are slightly down about 0.5%, so they haven't been affected as much. But again, Krispy Kreme, compared to Coca-Cola and of course Pepsi, it's significantly less, I would say, compared to those companies because those are much, much bigger companies. And then finally, GM Schmucker Company, which I don't know if they're going to be down as much, but there you go, down almost 2%, right? So they're also selling off. So, and this, right, obviously has been on a consistent streak of selling pressure. So that's where we are. I mean, if consumer spending and consumer habits overall start to change after 100 years of seeing Coca-Cola's brand, look, once in a while, I do still enjoy like a Diet Coke and whatnot, and I do still like the taste, but I try to avoid it as much as I can. And, that is a bit of an interesting situation because how do you make it healthier, right? How do you make it healthier without tweaking the taste, without changing the taste of the actual beverage? And I think as consumer habits change, that's why I always mention no company in the world is immune to all circumstances. Things will change. The only constant is change. People's habits will change. People's, behaviors will change. And as a result, no company is immune, right? Right now, we think that Apple is immune to everything. iPhone, everybody's going to be buying it. We don't know the future. We just don't know what could potentially take place. Now, this is still a little bit of an overreaction. I'll give them that. I mean, this is not materialized yet. This is still, slight pullback in behavioral habits, still very much of an overblown catalyst in my opinion. So if you come over to our spreadsheet, what I've done here is to better understand, Coca-Cola's growth. So, it's expected to grow by about 8% over the next, several years. Free cash flow has grown by about 36 basis points, and they've bought back about 41 basis points worth of shares. Now, Coca-Cola, in my opinion, has been trading at a higher valuation to begin with. I think they've always been trading at a higher multiple that they deserve. That's just my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put them at an 8% growth rate for net income. We're going to do about a 16 times price earnings multiple. They've always traded at over 20, 25 plus. Free cash flow growth rate, I'm going to be generous here. I'm going to go with 4%. Free cash flow multiple, we're going to keep that steady at 16, which is still a little bit too high in my opinion. We're going to go with 8% discount rate because they do pay out a pretty nice dividend yield, 10% margin of safety, and we get minus 1% share dilution at about a 50% EPS, 50% free cash flow. We get down to a fair value of $36 right now, trading at $52, $53 per share. So that means it does need maybe a little bit more potential downside before it starts to trade at some reasonable levels. And a technical support that I would mark out is going to be at 52.60, exactly where the price is right now. This is the same level from back in October of 2022. And then, of course, below that, we'll be watching closer to these levels at 49 sub $50 per share. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video. Make sure that you do drop a like and, of course, join our Discord and our Patreon for more analysis and updates and member benefits. Happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.